Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So, today I'm going to be working on week 40 of my Accordion Concertina journal. Now, somebody asked me, I think it was last week, it was maybe the week before, how do I go about attaching the pages? So, you will find detail of that in the Concertina playlist, Concertina Accordion Journal playlist, but I've still got the last 2 weeks to attach, so I just thought I would very quickly show you that. It's kind of getting more difficult to attach than it was at the beginning, and of course, as I explained last week, I've changed my method slightly. Rather than putting it on the front as well as the back, I really now just put it on the back. So, what I'll do, this is from 2 weeks ago. I'll just turn this like this. I'm going to put a bit of this under just to protect things. So this will be my first page. I know that this is the front. This is the way that I want it up. That's the back. So all I'll do is to put this down here. This is just a type of linen. I got this from Hobbycraft. It was a pack of fat quarters, and I think there's maybe 4 different fabrics in it. This was one of them, one of my favourites that you get in the pack. It's also got a kind of Hessian burlap. So all I'm going to do is, I can measure it roughly from the week before. So I'll just do a little snip. Sometimes it tears, sometimes it's too thin a strand. Straighten that out a little bit, do a second, and I'll just attach both pages. And I use the Beacon 3-in-1 glue, which I think is a bit like Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to put this down. I just leave a little gap. Let me bring it in a little bit closer. Just leave a little gap. A millimetre, a couple of millimetres maximum, which I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or something like that. So this stuff has got pretty thick. I have not watered it down, but used the acetone to thin it a bit, which helped for a while, but it just seems to keep thickening. But if I keep it upside down, it's not too bad. So I just run a little bead of that along there. It's really just enough to catch the fabric. Just line that up again. And then we'll just stick that down. Usually then just take a palette knife or something like it, bone folder, and just press it right down. Now the only thing that bothers me slightly about it is that sometimes the glue shows through, but it's no big deal really. And I can always come in with a little bit more if that doesn't hold. So next one, all I'll do, a little bit of paper, just to stop everything getting ultra sticky. So again, I know this is the way I want it up. This is the back. I just turn it over. Tiny gap. I hear a little bit of noise today. There's somebody running something outside. I'm just in from the garden. Been doing a bit more of the kind of autumn clear up when a lot of things die back, and they're lovely for a while, but then it just needs cleared out the way. So whatever that person's doing, it sounds industrial sized machinery, but and I put that down. These little frayed edges, they don't bother me at all. And that's that. So what I'll do now is I basically try and keep it lying flat. So this is something I would usually do when I was kind of going away from my desk so that I could just leave it. But all I'll do now is move it out the way. Might be dry by the time we're finished today. So, someone mentioned about my scrap boxes. I've got a video up on how I organise these. It's not much of an organisation video, but I'll try and remember and link that below. And I'm just going to take one of my pre-made cards, 2 pieces of 5x4 paper pad glued together. So I need some bigger pieces. So I have my medium scraps and my sort of smaller scraps, and often they start medium and as bits come off they go into the small box. So I'll just have a quick look here, and then I'll just be doing some gluing, and then as I'm doing that I shall just chat a little bit. Some of these are probably from last week. Quite like that. So I'll look a few bigger pieces out, and then I'll look a few smaller pieces out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so again, just a bit of deli baking paper type stuff down. Lost my card, there we go. And I'm just going to use a glue stick. I'm going to have to get more. I usually use Pritt stick, but actually I quite like this Elmer's as well, although there's only one place I can kind of get that. But so I just wanted to chat a little bit as I do this, because there's something I've meant to explain the last couple of weeks, and that is I used to put videos up quite a bit where I had things on at speed, and it's funny, some people like things just to be done at normal speed, just as I'm sitting here working, and other people would much prefer that I put it on at speed. Now you see I've left a gap there just to explain. I like that rough edge, and actually I don't mind that little bit of pattern sticking through or showing through. So yeah, I noticed when I was sitting down to do these, and I had been doing a bit of chat and then a bit where I was adding music. I could have put the bit where I was adding music on at speed, but I know that people, some people, not necessarily everyone, just kind of enjoy watching things being created in real time. And I quite enjoy that too. It can make the videos obviously quite a bit longer, but you know, there's always the option that if somebody finds it too slow, then they can just speed it up using the little gear below. You've then got to turn the volume down generally, because otherwise I would sound like some strange little creature, and the music when it's on would sound awful. But that's okay, it could be turned down. Some people, I'm sure, don't like to listen to chat, nor do they like to listen to the music. I enjoy when I'm sitting here really just listening to the birds that I hear in the garden, and I'm sure you'll sometimes hear that on the video. Occasionally, like today, somebody somewhere else. I mean, that noise is travelling quite a distance. I know who it is, and they're quite a distance away, but yeah, so sometimes my camera will pick that up, and sometimes I'll cut it out, other times I just leave it. What I noticed though when I've gone to edit the last couple of pages of these videos is I can actually hear myself relaxing into the process, you know, so that point where I go quiet, I can suddenly hear myself kind of go, and it's like I'm just relaxing into it. And you know, there's something to be said for that. I've got my base layers on to the kind of base card. Might just put a little bit of book page on. Let's go with this. A bit on each, and then I'll start doing some smaller pieces. And I think what I'm going to do, I want to cover it all up. I'm going to do this slightly differently this week. Yeah, so I kind of lost track of what I was saying there, but never mind. Yeah, so I think I was basically saying I just kind of get into it and enjoy sitting in the quietness in my studio, but I also enjoy finding music that I think goes with it. So I hope you can relax into it too. There's so much going on in the world just now that actually I think we all need a bit of relaxation. The world is getting too, I don't know if you can see that, too dramatic. And doing art and getting lost in the process is just one of these things that, for me anyway, it helps not to be in front of the TV all the time or be on social media or whatever. In fact, I've been staying off Facebook in particular. I'm hardly on it just now because I just find it kind of unsettling, for want of a better word. Just going to put that down. So, in terms of a theme for this week, I've not really got one. I might kind of go a bit sort of geometric, so rather than tearing everything, I'd still do rough tears, but rather than tearing everything, maybe just doing it a little bit kind of geometric, so squares, circles, rough cut circles. And I do tend to always tear it because I just feel it gives a more natural looking line. But maybe in terms of the design, I could now go a little bit geometric. I saw this as well and I thought that might be quite interesting. Don't like the colour, but I might leave that on. Or maybe just layer. I mean, most of this is layered anyway. I quite like this bit of an old envelope. I think someone maybe gave me that. So I've explained why I'm putting music on. I'm relaxing into it. I hope you can relax into it too. And that's what I'm going to do now, because if I'm talking, I can't think about it in the same way. So I will put some music on. I hope you enjoy it. If you'd rather, press the gears and put it at double speed or whatever. So I've basically just done a series of rectangles on each side, and I'm quite happy at that. I find it easier just to not have much of an idea, you know, I thought they're geometric shapes, and that then took me into overthinking it. Right, still going to go for a bit of ink though, so let me decide what ink I want to use this week. Well, slightly different. I'm going to use a Stella Rowney System 3 in Mars Black. A few people have been asking about my wrist. Thank you for your kind wishes. I'm still getting a bit of pain from it. I've still not got full movement, but it's definitely a million times better than it was. So, you know, I think I want to just do something different and just almost draw with it, but just very lightly. So we've got the rectangles. There's a bird on my kind of roof light. I think it's a big wood pigeon, which is why it's making so much noise. Yeah, I think I just want to do something to kind of loosen this up a bit. I'm not going to put a lot of ink on. And I think I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'll do something similar on the back. A couple of little marks here and there. Dare I try and... This might just squish it, and I might just regret it. Ooh, I like it on there though. Look how good that looks with the orange. I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to put some orange on, because I do like the orange and the black together. Put a little on the back first. Not much, don't think it's too much. Dry it, and then I'll get the orange out. So this is the cadmium orange hue again. Again, it's the Stella Rowney System 3. As I said last week, it's an opaque ink, so you really don't need an awful lot. Not dried that terribly well on that side. This might still be a little bit wet, so I might still get a bit of runoff from it. But I think I want to just do kind of a bit of drippage. I'll start with that. Of course, some of it will now sit on top of the black, whereas there it's the black on top of the orange, but that's okay. I'm just going to add in a little bit more. I'll let that orange go in the back. You can see it's almost tracking down those lines. Right. I will leave that to dry for a minute or two, and then I'll be back. just about dry. I'm just going to put a little bit on the other side. Just in a similar fashion, I think. Maybe not quite as much, we'll see. Move it about a bit. Just a wee scoosh to move it. Dry this off. Last thing to do is edging it with gold paint. Just in the usual way, just edging along, using my finger. It'll be thicker in places, etc. And I'll just go all the way around and then I'll show you the finished thing. And there we have it. As usual, still wet around the edge. So I guess we're looking at messed up rectangles. You know, I roughly cut all these rectangles, but came in with some black ink for a change, but brought the orange down over it. And I have to say, as an abstract, I really quite like it. And there's the back, just using similar colours, similar papers, but no more than that. So I always managed to squish it at this point. There we go. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of chat. As I say, putting it on at normal speed, and hopefully you can find that relaxing as well. I'm so tempted to just put a little bit of gold on there. I'm gonna just the tiniest bits. Just so that when the light hits it. Right, that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Do take care. Bye for now.